If you're starting tomatoes in January because you want an earlier harvest, you may be doing the exact thing that could delay it. Starting seeds in January and February are not a planting strategy, they're just days on the calendar. Warm season crops don't care about months. They care about days before transplant and conditions for transplant. Optimal indoor start times for tomatoes is 42 to 56 days, depending on the variety, from the time you seed to the time you transplant it and move it outdoors, hopefully after the last frost date. This video is coming out at the very first weekend of February 2026. And for most of us in the United States, we have had a crazy storm over the last couple of weeks where a lot of snow and a lot of ice has dumped on many of our farms. So start now if you're in zones 5 through 7, and that puts you inside or closing your 42 to 56 day window. And if you're in our camp, zones 8 through 10, you're already a little bit behind. A lot of people have already started their tomatoes. We do have some started that's going to go in our Dutch buckets later on in the season, but today I'm starting the tomatoes that's going to go on the permaculture side of our 30-foot greenhouse. And if you're in zone 1 through 4, this is why I really wanted to make this video. As tempting as it may be to start the tomatoes, I may ask you to hold off just a little bit. Even if you've done it in the past, maybe not do them all out, and let's see which does better next year. Take your notes and let's adjust. Waiting now avoids extra management later. The window matters more than the date. And while tomatoes are kind of the anchor crop for this, if we're looking in February at that 42 to 56 day window, depending on the variety, that also means that some of the quicker vine crops, like cucumbers for instance, are for sure going to have to wait a little bit because they're going to grow much faster. If you want to grow something now without having to babysit it later, lettuce and other cold tolerant greens are the way to go right now. Let's talk a little bit about uppotting and why that may or may not be the best option for you. Uppotting works like a buffer, not a loophole. Think of container size like gears. Small cells are low gear, so that's fast decisions and fast management. As soon as that tomato germinates and those roots start hitting the cells, now we have our air prune trays here, so that buys us a little bit more time. But as that hits, we already need to start considering, are we going to go up to the next size, or is it way too early to transplant? But if I have a crop like tomato and I'm not properly lighting it with grow lights, we may be stressing out the plant to where the stem is weak or it's not putting out as much flowering or fruiting options as we may be looking for, especially if we're going for those earlier crops. So will starting tomatoes in January get you earlier tomatoes? If you have been gardening for a while, that may be the case. But here's something that also happens that you may need to look out for. Earlier starts mean that roots hit the limit too soon unless you uppot. Plants adapt to low winter light, and when transplanted into cooler soil in the early spring, growth pauses and flowering delays. So your rules for uppotting are uppot before roots are restricted, not after. So when you start seeing roots pop out of the bottom of your cell trays, it's really time to go ahead and move into those uppots. Because cucumbers grow so fast, I'm gonna go ahead and move these directly into a 5-inch pot. If I uppot and grow a bigger plant, I will get earlier tomatoes. This is where I have a real hard time taking what the research shows and what my practice shows. Now, I have always been under the camp, and I still kind of remain there, that if I start tomatoes now and we're properly lighting it and properly keeping it in great conditions and going ahead and taking the time to move it outside and hardy it off and getting used to those conditions, likely everything that goes right is going to mean that that's true. However, if I start these tomatoes only inside and I don't have the proper lights and I skip the step of hardening off, that's likely going to mean that when that tomato goes outside, it's going to get stunted just a little bit, and the plant is almost going to have to reset itself. So uppotting relieves root restriction and helps you grow out bigger roots, but it doesn't fix low light and it doesn't rebuild lost energy. And that's one of the keys of this video. If we wait just a little bit and we're starting that plant inside and we're waiting to a more perfect window around your last frost date, putting that plant outside, letting it buffer for a couple of days as we harden off, and then planting it direct in the soil, you may be surprised to find that you have a little bit faster growth than you would if you uppotted it to even twice the size, because that plant is so used to being inside. The third myth, and we kind of covered it a little bit, is all of your vine crops need to be started at the same time. Cucumbers grow much faster, peppers grow a little bit slower, and actually require a significant amount of heat to germinate than even some of the tomato varieties. So a lot of people want to get a seed, they want to put it on a heat mat, even if the germination temperatures don't even require it. So please look at those germination temperatures. So tomatoes, peppers, cucumbers, eggplant, all these traditional vining crops, they're all going to have different start windows and they're all going to have different germination temperatures. And it might be worth doing those in the order that makes the most sense for you and for that crop. Does a hoop house make planting early safe? A hoop house definitely reduces the risk, but it doesn't erase biology. Cold soil slows roots, especially in a warm season crop. And when the roots are slow, the rest of the plant becomes slow to grow as well. So a hoop house gives you stronger roots, a more stable soil and air mass, and that equals earlier flowering and earlier fruits. If we're putting this outdoors where we don't have that buffer, these older plants where we've uppotted and started too early may run the risk of stalling out early in the season, and that's exactly what we're trying to avoid in this video. Does heat and protection solve seed starting problems? They help survival, not growth. Germination temperatures do not equal growth temperatures. Heat mats help tomatoes and cucumbers germinate, but should come off after they emerge. Think of it as the light is feeding the plant and the heat is helping the plant run faster, but without that energy from the light, without that energy from photosynthesis, it's gonna cash out and not make it to the finish line. Let's talk a little bit about leggy seedlings. Legginess is almost always a light problem. So if we start tomatoes and other vine crops that need a lot of light and we don't have enough light to go around on the indoor grow, that means every single day we're asking this plant to grow in a way that it doesn't have enough fuel, enough light. And so that leggy stretchingness, it's not solved by uppotting. That helps the roots and gives the roots a place to go, but it's not feeding the plant as if light would. Now, these lights that I'm under right now, they're not grow lights, so I can put this on there all day, every day. But without proper grow light temperature and intensity, closeness to the plant, and oftentimes a lot longer in the day than you would think 16, 18 hours a day, these tomatoes are going to get very leggy, and leggy stretched out vines means that it's a weaker vine. It's not compact, it's not healthy, it's not fed well, and we're basically putting a malnutrition plant out into a new environment here in a few weeks when you start to transplant. Last thing I want to talk about is if you have your seedlings out and everything's green and it looks great, that's not necessarily an indication that everything's going right. Because what plants don't like is a start and stop again. You want continuous growth. So if you have the ability to start the seeds and start them on the heat mat with a humidity dome, move them onto intense light, and then do the hardening off process in a manner in which it's going to correctly do it without you having to, oh, we had a really great week, we hardened off, but now the weather's gonna be bad and we moved it back in and we kind of stunt that cycle. That constant starting and stopping doesn't mean that that plant can just really stretch out every single week and have a natural growth cycle. So let's go ahead and really pay attention to our frost dates. Let's take a look at our crop plan, and then for each one of those crops, let's take a look at our starting window. Take that last frost date, back up 6 weeks, 8 weeks, 12 weeks, whatever that may be, and start those crops in that order. And that's the bottom line I want you to take away from this video. Let's plan out everything you want to grow. Let's get those seeds in and make sure that they're not going to be sold out. Hopefully you already have that. And then let's take a look at how many weeks do we have before our last frost, give ourselves a week or two of buffer, and then plant out those seeds in the order in which the back of the seed packet tells you is right. Go ahead and subscribe, leave a link down below, and over the course of the season, you can see what we do with some of these seedlings that we start today. Have a great one.